Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles and
Caleb.
That's one of his. Actually, Caleb's gonna say a lot of words today. So today we're gonna go a little off topic. It's not funny though today.
It's not. It's just funny that this is an
what
actual subject that we have to talk about.
We do have to talk about it. So it's something that's going on the reptile hobby. So we're going to stay within the hobby, but we're not really going to talk about our collection. Whoa, light flicker. But I will share you our connection, if that makes any sense. Before we do that, go ahead and click like, subscribe. Go check out the Patreon. It's worth joining just for the Discord. It's a great group there. You're nervous about this. I can
there's a
bug, a little fly.
I was flying, blowing away from me.
Okay. So we're going to talk about a gentleman, and you guys know if you watch this channel for long, I'm not a big fan of drama. I don't like calling people out by name. Usually, I say usually because this is going to be a little different, if we're going to call out a behavior or something that we see, we're not going to stick a name to it because I don't really feel that very often there's much to gain by doing that. And I usually let other people who want to waller in the drama bullshit because I checked today, and I'm actually not a 15-year-old girl who needs to live in drama. So, apologies to any 15-year-old girls who don't live in drama. It's, but you have friends that do. You know what I'm talking about. But today we are going to call it a name. And it's somebody that I don't think I ever actually met them. You've met them.
Yeah.
Once. Before we knew better. Oh, God. So we're going to talk about a Mr. Timothy Gould, Gould,
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Gould, today. And we're going to start off by saying, right from the get-go, I will share our connection to him because, we ain't got nothing to hide about it.
Nope.
So our connection was you had purchased a few snakes.
Yep.
And Gould, and I'm not going to refer to him as Mr. anymore because he doesn't really deserve that.
No.
He had a business. That was a really smart idea.
Actually. It was.
Because these were venomous snakes. So you can't just FedEx them. And so what this gentleman did gentleman is the wrong term. What this asswipe did is he would basically ferry those snakes across the country. So he'd get a bunch of these snakes that people would purchase from other places. We didn't buy you didn't buy the snake from him, to be clear.
Right. I don't think so. I don't think, because he also sells snakes. I can't remember exactly. It has been so long. I don't remember. I don't think it was directly from him. I think it was a pickup.
That's what I remember. He picked up on the way. So he kind of would run around. He'd pick up snakes and drop off these venomous snakes to avoid having to use Delta Dash. If you've ever dealt with venomous snakes, the only proper way to ship them is through Delta Dash, which is very, very expensive.
And they don't even guarantee alive.
No, and it's not like shipping a ball python. It's going to be right on Delta passenger planes. You got to be by a major airport hub. It's a bitch. So this is a really good idea to alleviate that, to get to more rural areas. And it was cheaper to ship through him because he's piling all these in. He'd have a whole bunch of them at once. Brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Credit where it's due.
Absolutely.
It was a great idea. So this guy comes, brings you the snake. I wasn't here. He said he was a little strange right from the get-go, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little different.
You can just tell, with some people, it's just, you can just tell.
But then you came in and thought, hell, that's a great idea, and we're going to be breeding some venomous snakes eventually, and we may need to ship some. I'm going to find this dude and add him, so I have contact with him. So if we ever need to, A, get venomous snakes shipped to us in the future, or B, ship out venomous snakes, we have another way of doing it. And so you went to his Facebook, and what was very apparent the moment you went there, and this is back how many years? Like,
I don't even remember.
4, maybe?
No. Because I've only been in the reptile house for 2.
And it was here.
I think I started living here or was on the process of going back and forth.
It was pretty early.
But yeah.
So we're going to say 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And what was very obvious even 2 years ago when you went on this guy's Facebook?
He is, in fact, a Nazi.
He is, in fact, a Nazi.
He is, in fact. The swastikas on his profile picture pretty much...
kind of did it,
right? And, before someone goes to the comments, it goes, yeah, well, the swastika, when turned... a certain way.
It was not the Native American
way
symbol.
back. It was in India and stuff like that. Nope, these were the right size and shape and everything to be a swastika.
Yes, it was an obvious
very
swastika.
Obvious.
I remember Caleb going, "Holy shit, man! You're not going to believe this." And he's showing me that. I'm like, "Yeah, this is a dude we don't want in our lives," and that was the only dealings we ever had with him. Then his name popped up again about 6 months ago, 8 months ago, maybe a year ago. There was, whenever Florida was having all of its issues, he got picked up in a raid on that for some of the things. He just didn't have proper licensing. It wasn't anything with the Nazi part. But since then, he has been even more off his rocker. And so here's what we're going to kind of say. These are the kind of people that I personally believe in acceptance for all. I don't have to like what you do. I don't have to like who you are. I don't have to like the decisions you make to just treat you like a basic human being, right? You know, no matter what your belief system is or whatever it may be, mine is always, teachings I've taken from my belief system is always to treat people well, if you can. When I don't do that, it's because I'm failing most of the time. It's not because of the teachings I've had. That doesn't matter if they're white, pink, black, purple, gay, straight, transsexual, whatever. Now I may crack a joke or two, because that's my nature, but I'll crack a joke or two about me too, so it's fine. But if there's one group of people, two groups of people I just can't tolerate. There's two. And they're related. It's pretty much anybody in the white supremacist movement or anybody in the Nazi movement. And there are a little bit of differences, I think, in the two, although one's kind of a subsect of the other. And they, I guess, drink beer together. I don't know. But I have no place for that because I don't want to surround myself with people whose lives revolve around hate and discontent. And I guess I would go for any group or any person whose life revolves around hate or discontent. I just don't need that around me. You're free to believe what you want. If somebody really wants to walk down the street and believe that crap, I mean, it's a free country, I guess, do it. Yeah. I just don't want to hear about it. I don't want to associate with you. I don't want to be around you. I don't want to do business with you. And I'm probably not going to give you a meal if you're starving to death in that situation, to be very blunt. And Mr. Gould, or so I'm going to call him Mr. again, but
just Habit, yeah.
Habit, right? He is definitely
off his rocker.
Now, that's the point you just made, though. He's off his rocker. My hope, because I do believe in people in general, maybe I'm an idiot, probably am an idiot for that. My hope is that he suffers from some form of mental illness or thing that causes these outbursts, and that with, some maybe counseling or medication or whatnot, he could be a normal human being and not have these feelings or these beliefs. Mental illness can cause you to do a lot of crazy things. My hope for him is that he's just mentally ill and can get some help, because he probably does need that. But if it's not mental illness, this is truly the way he believes, and my hope for him is that one day the lights turn on and he doesn't believe that way. We are going to share a little bit of what we're talking about so you guys understand why we're kind of calling this behavior out. What I want to say with it is this isn't just for shock value. The point that I want to make is, as a group and as a hobby, we should be very welcoming and opening. But we cannot welcome and open hate, because hate itself is not welcoming. And if you welcome and are open to having hate around you, you're going to push others out. So this is the instance of, to me, to be welcoming, we cannot have people like this in our hobby. Not. They need to be pushed out, ostracized, and with that, though, we should hope that they change. And if they truly change, they should then be back in. We've all been stupid before. Not that I have high hopes of that happening. I always believe in the second chance of the human spirit. But what is that? So what's the first one you've got up that he stated?
So it's a picture of Adolf Hitler, the greatest story never told. It's, I guess, a DVD set.
So I'm hoping it's what happens right before the bullet went through his brain, because that would be a story I'd be really interested in hearing about Mr. Hitler.
To which he said, for the Führer's 135th birthday, I would like to promote this wonderful 4-DVD box set. If you can find it anywhere, full front and back covers in the comments. I did not get a chance to actually pull those covers. I'm going to guess, based on some of the posts I'm about to read in a second, that these are not pictures portraying Adolf Hitler in the way he truly was.
No, probably not. And I'm going to real quick. And most of these people who write this shit and believe this shit and talk about this shit and talk about a person or a thing like Hitler in that high of a regard, to that movement, that high of regard, honestly have no understanding of what it really is. And I did have the misfortune of reading a pretty good chunk, most of Mein Kampf, for a project I was working on in school. I can tell you that guy's batshit fucking crazy. And like, there's not many people that the world is better because they actually are dead. The world is better because Hitler died. It would have been better if he died earlier. I mean, that is truly, truly a face of evil that I don't believe had any chance of being fixed, unfortunately. Okay, go ahead.
So this next one here, and again, these are not going to be exact verbatim reads.
No, we gotta edit it.
Some really horrible. And,
yes, there's some things that even our potty mouths can't say.
No, it's disturbing. It really is. So this one is 14 hours for AAA to get out here, and not even 5 minutes, and we are stuck. This service is over. It is over. Man, that's really hard to. Anyhow, none of that. Anyhow, that none of you really cared anyways. Have your Delta. They are much more reliable. P.S. I hope competes, which, if I remember correctly, is a bill trying to ban a lot of exotic animals. But he says, P.S. I hope competes, wins, and destroys this worthless hobby. A sentiment I have expressed to a few as early as February 9th, not because of this itinerary show. Too much not good words in this hobby anyhow.
Too much what is it? The other not good words, these things. Where were we at here?
Right there.
Yeah, I'll say it. He said there's too many fucking... And he used the F word, so it's not me putting that in there. The word is Jewry is what he used, which I think would be... He's not talking about the person or the people, but he's using the people as a derogatory term for how like people do business in the hobbies. My belief in that, which is still racist as hell and pretty shitty. So yeah.
Cannot wait till the Holocaust. I just hope I'm alive to see the sky fall and the world burn.
And this is why I think the guys actually might be mentally ill, because if you're waiting for the Holocaust, you need to get a time machine. It already happened. It was horrible. I've met survivors. I've been to the museum for it. And I'll tell you, man, if you ever get a chance, if you ever find yourself in D.C., that is one of the stops that you just shouldn't miss. There's very few things that don't involve my own blood that have ever moved me to tears. And that museum is one. To the point that when I got to talk to a survivor afterwards who still had the number. And we're running out of those people, folks, because the ones who survived are getting old. They were a child when they were in an internment camp. And just, I don't know, man. It's extremely moving. And to hear their stories and see the stories of that in some firsthand, like, accounts. And the video, like, to hear somebody talk like this is very, very, it's very, very upsetting. It's very, very upsetting to me. Yeah. Anyway, continue. Let's go on to the next crap that he had to say.
I'm only going to read part of this one. The other part I can't even bring myself to say. Looks like the rat continuously posted a screenshot of him being removed from Facebook groups and blocked and banned, which is good.
Usually I think Facebook is over the top, but good job, Mark Zuckerberg, on that one. Get rid of this pile of dog shit.
He screenshotted all that, and then he put, looks like the rat continues, keep it up. If I route you out, I think he means root. If I root you out, I suck at reading sometimes too. Your suffering at my hand will be unfathomable, and I will proudly serve a life or death sentence to extinguish your existence. I will annihilate every one of you that I can.
It's a little violent. The rest of that, just so you know, is involving certain things he would do if it was a female, that even involves having fecal matter on his phallus for them. So, we're going to leave that at that.
And then, and this one's really long, but here's just, again, where is it? Just, I mean, again, to show how off the rails we are. But I warn you, not threaten you now, Governor Ron DeSantis. Have your authorities cross me with disrespect and infringe upon my freedom of thought, speech, and expression, not being a resident of your Jewish state, only a visitor, and there will be blood. The spirit of Spartacus, and in parentheses he has an ancient he has ancient warriors, of this nation's founding fathers and the Führer, so again, referencing Nazis.
Yes. And somehow connected to our nation's founding fathers who, while they had their own sins with other groups of people, they didn't have any problem with Jewish folks, as far as I know. So,
yeah. And will absolutely ignite me in inconceivable and is that apocalyptic?
Apocalyptic. Ooh, we're getting big words now. Apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic fury. And I will die fighting before being taken prisoner over my convictions, philosophy, and ideology of life.
His ideology has nothing to do with life. It has to do with hate and death.
And in that was just a little part of a whole book. Literally a book that he wrote about white supremacy.
So the reason we're bringing this up, guys, is because occasionally, and I do mean occasionally, something like this pops up in the reptile hobby. This is the second incident that I can remember where we felt the need to
speak out and get
speak out and drop names.
Because I would have, if I'd have never looked him up, I'd have never known.
Never known.
We'd have.
Yeah, when you met, you didn't get those vibes.
No, absolutely not.
I think when we first started talking, you looked him up, you thought maybe there was a touch of like
autism,
or Asperger's, or something
Yeah.
like that going on. Which again, there may be a reason why he is the way he is, and there may be something that can help him. And I honestly hope that there is. But the reason we will only time we'll call people out is because we did it with Samson Pruitt because it was so over the top and bad that if you were in this hobby, you're new to this hobby, or if he was on a friend page or you were connected because you didn't know, then you needed to know. And then hopefully you would remove him because you wouldn't want that.
That Samson one, I had to go look to see if I'm friends with so many reptile Facebook people. I had no idea if I was friends with him or not. It's not a name I'm familiar with, but
I even had to search this guy.
Odd chance that as soon as I seen Darian's post in the comments, I knew. I was like, yep.
Because I'm just like, man, sometimes I just get it. I'm like, who the hell is this? And there's pictures of reptiles in there.
Yeah.
Like, okay, confirm.
Exactly.
Confirm.
That's how I am.
So I had to double check just to make sure.
Yeah.
Because
occasionally it's been some of you guys who I see your Discord name or Patreon name and I don't know your real name. I have a few people of you guys that I text almost on the daily, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know your actual real name.
I don't know.
I just have your Patreon name or Discord name in my contacts on my phone. Occasionally some of you I do, but there's just so many of you guys that. So I had to check to see on that Samson one. But.
So the reason we call these names out when it's this egregious, because it does go against some of my core values of how I operate, is because I don't want you to accidentally get involved with this person, not realizing who or what they are, because it can, one, damage your reputation to be connected to him, and two, like most of you, if you know, would not want to be involved with this kind of person. And so we want to let you know who that is. Same thing with Pruitt. You don't want to go buy a snake from a guy like Samson Pruitt and all the horrors and dog fighting and horse shit that goes on with that asshole. You don't want to buy a snake or, help a business, which we did once unknowingly. And it wasn't actually us. It was the guy we bought the snake from. We bought the snake from. Used that shipping method. He picked the shipping method. We didn't. For full disclosure, had we known, we'd have been like, no, time out.
I did not bought the snake.
I will pay more to ship it the other way because I don't want this fucking asshole near me. But we didn't. So it is what it is. So we're trying to help prevent you from having to deal with him. And also to kind of come out when these things happen as a hobby and police our own. There are very few things that are intolerable. I think as a society, we should be a tolerant society. As a hobby, we should be a very tolerant hobby because we're already on the fringe. How many people tell you, hey, oh God, you like snakes? How do you keep in a house of snakes? How does your wife sleep in a house of... all this shit you already fucking hear where people are intolerant of us just because we like reptiles. So because of that, I'm going to work very hard not to be intolerant of most. But this is a point where I am going to be intolerant. I will not tolerate hate, bigotry, and assholishness just for the sake of it. Personally. Now, it's not to say that I've never done my own dumb shit. We all have. And I'm very open about it if anybody wants to know. But this guy, we cannot in good conscience not say something.
Yeah. Obscure Jim Reptiles is the business name that he goes by too.
Obscure Jim?
Obscure I'm pretty sure.
Jim is in like, hey Jim,
G-E-M.
or Jim is in like G-E.
Let me look it up because it may not have the Jim. I may have just added that part, but maybe it's obscure reptiles.
And we hadn't thought about this in a long time.
Obscure Jim Reptiles LLC.
That's who to avoid, guys. But then that post from Darian came out, and it kind of brought us back to light. And there's a ton of screenshots in there that you grabbed so we could do this. It was kind of like, yeah, you know what? This guy's still around. He's still operating. We should probably say something.
Yeah, and you know what? I will say kudos to a lot of venomous groups I'm in who, as soon as it started coming to light...
This is bigger in the venomous community. This guy's not delivering your ball pythons. Right?
No. Started booting and getting rid of, you know.
Yeah. Because they talk about it even more, have to be more tolerant hobby. The venomous hobby.
Absolutely.
You know, and we're not super tolerant of shitty handling there because it's bad, you know, it presents a bad, even if you're really good at it, it's presenting a bad way to do it if you're not know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, I guess I should say. But like...
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's hard to say, right? But this is a guy that, like, you know, we've talked about people who free handle on camera a lot, how we personally don't do that and why we believe the way we do. I don't have a problem with any of those people that do that. I don't hate them. I don't dislike them. I do wish that they would do something to help not promote free handling as much just for clicks and views. I think it should be about more than clicks and views. But this is a guy that I think we can all together say, no, you don't belong with us. Well, you're that way. And then even after you're not that way, I would be still super, super, super ass leery. I hope for a change for him, but he would never be one I would ever do any business with, even if he changed, to be blunt. So I wouldn't necessarily trust it. And that's just so far outside of what I believe. So anyway, there's that.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add about...
I was really just...
blown away?
Yeah, because, you know, it's one thing to just... It's one thing to see swastikas in a profile picture and be like, oh, man, that guy's got some issues. Yeah. But then the I mean, man...
And that's really where it kind of stopped for us. That was enough for us to go, hey, you're done for us, buddy, but whatever.
You know, but to just publicly say the things, it's just... Man, some of that stuff is really... Like, we censored a lot and skipped a lot, and there's some really just disturbing things in there, man.
Yep.
That is...
Yep. And just, you know...
shocking. Shocking.
Yeah, very shocking.
Very shocking.
And I have a very, and I like to say it's something that I'm not Jewish at all. I don't have any known Jewish relatives I'm aware of. Like, I don't have any personal connection to the people that were part of the Holocaust, you know, other than just a human connection. But it is something that I'm very sensitive about. Yeah. Because people talk about, well, it wasn't real or it wasn't this. No, it was very real. You know, I've seen the train cars they were packed in. Like, you know, the horrible idea of sorting facilities and how that worked, you know, and seeing the models, because they have all at the museum, and it's really breathtaking, and you end up walking out of there feeling guilty because, the truth be told, the United States had a chance to do more to stop that earlier and didn't, you know, and you kind of feel shitty about that, to be blunt. So, you know, but yeah, that's, yeah.
Wow. I don't, yeah. Wow, it's really just all I can say. It's just as disturbing. It's crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
So, go ahead.
I just, you know.
Now, before we go on, I will tell you, when we go to Patreon, we are going to share two other, why we have these, I don't know. I have two other reptile Nazi stories to share with you. I will share on Patreon, though, not here.
Yeah. That's just, I don't know, man. Well, you meet someone and that's not, those things you say is just not the thing, like, the things we read were not the things I expected from.
No.
At all.
No, that was so over the top, man.
That was
just,
wow.
You know, but hate, bigotry, racism, I don't have any place for that in my life.
Not.
And that, to be an out and about, I mean, I guess the only thing I could say positive, I wanted to put a positive spin on something for the guy is, I mean, I guess it's better to be that kind of asshole than the guy who's a completely closeted asshole. Closeted not by sexuality, closeted by, I am a hateful Nazi racist piece of shit, but I'm not going to act like it. But I'm going to act like it when I'm by myself, but I'm not going to act like it here. At least he's honest about what kind of piece of shit he is.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only nice thing I can say is at least he's honest. And you know right away you're dealing with a fucking idiot. Kurt, anything you want to add about this?
Nope.
You don't have any take on Nazis?
Nope.
Do you like Nazis, Kurt?
Nope.
Do you not like Nazis?
Do I not like them?
There's too many.
Would you piss on a... Here,
No, it's not.
Kurt can only say no. Would you piss on a Nazi if they were on fire?
Why would I piss on someone? No.
If they're on fire. Would you
No.
piss on a Nazi if he was on fire?
No.
Would you throw gas on him if he was on fire?
I would just run away. Like I don't.
I'd throw gas on him if I could. Keep going. No, I'm kidding. But I definitely wouldn't piss on one if they were on fire. That means you wouldn't help them no matter what. Not even going to try to piss the fire out kind of thing, you know. So anything else you want to add, Kurt?
Have you ever tried to piss a fire out?
Yeah. I'm a man. Okay, have you pissed on a fire trying to put it out? Yeah. Have you not pissed on a fire trying to put it out, Kurt?
Yes, and it doesn't work.
No, but it makes a cool hiss sound. It's great. It's great. You know what? I'm not going to tell. I'll tell it on Patreon too. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.